we'll start with the new document, and we'll define the size of the document here in the new document dialog box. You can also choose from the preset, but for the portfolio we are going to make, I want the size to be 8 inches, or let's say that I want to have a squarish portfolio, so I'm going for 10 inches by 10 inches. You can follow your own size, that's fine. I want 10 inches by 10 inches, so I'll type 10 and then give it a suffix of IN. Okay, and then say okay. Don't worry about the margins and everything right now, or let's just set the margins. uh, Break this link because I want variable margins for top, bottom, inside and outside, basically because I might go for spiral binding. I'm not sure yet, but if that is the intention, you should go for at least 1 inch of inside margin. Outside you can keep now 3p0, that's 3 points, and that means half inches, so that's why 6p0 is 1 inch. So on all three sides I have half inch of margin, and inside we have 1 inches. Alright, you can also click on the preview button. Now this feature is only available in the current version of InDesign. If you happen to have CC 2017, you can see the preview. I'll say okay because I'm happy with it. I can also go for number of columns. I can make, virtual columns which wouldn't be visible, which will not be printed, but gives us a guideline how to divide our pages uh, in terms of space. So I can go for couple of columns here that gives us a fair division of the space. Okay, it's very handy. And I can also now play around with the gutter space. Gutter space is the space in between the columns, and I want to bring it down to 0.5 p. Okay, fine. So I'll say okay, and the first page of the portfolio is ready for me to work with. And now about importing images inside InDesign, because I want to feature an image here, a full page image. So I'll say ctrl D on the keyboard, which brings up this place dialog box, and not a dialog box actually, it's just opens up your Windows browser from where you can locate the file, and I have saved it on the desktop inside the folder portfolio, resources, images. Now let's fine, I'll go for this one for my cover. Say open. I'll just click because I want the actual size of image here, and then I'm going to resize it. Now while resizing it, if you do not hold any button on the keyboard and do it, it's going to crop the frame. If this is what you want, then it's fine, but I don't want that. I want the entire image to resize. So I'll hold Ctrl on the keyboard and do it. Now as I do so, I notice that the constraint, the proportion is not constrained. So I'll also add Shift along with the Control button on the keyboard to constrain the proportion and resize it at the same time to get this. And this is what I want here. Alright. Okay, of course it requires a lot of editing and color correction, but we will just go with this one. And this little bit of extra area we can chop it off without holding any key on the keyboard by resizing the frame and matching it up with the bottom of the page. Alright, and this side I'll just put a rectangle by selecting rectangle tool and drawing a rectangle, and I'll fill up color inside it. And for filling up color, you can go to colors panel and pick a color from here. Okay, I'll go with black, and I'll reduce the opacity of the black to get a gray. Let's reduce it to 70%. Fine. And there is this outline which I do not want. So what I can do, notice in the toolbar we have these two options, these two swatches. So basically the first one controls the fill color and the bottom one controls the outline color. If you click on the bottom one, it becomes the priority, and now I can target the stroke, and I do not want any color for the stroke, so I'll click on none. The stroke is gone now. So this is what we have. If you want to have a look at the preview of it, you can click here and then choose preview, and in the preview mode we can see there is this fine, I think there is this white space in between. I want to cover it up, so I'll select the rectangle and then increase the size of it. I do not want any space there, and then I can type portfolio or something. Just now for doing that, let's save our document first. So say Ctrl S on the keyboard, navigate to the folder where your resources are, and outside the resource folder you need to save it, portfolio. Okay, portfolio underscore cfs underscore 2017. Save the file. Okay, Control G about the navigation inside InDesign. It is same as Photoshop. Control 0 will fit the page to the viewing area. Control plus is going to zoom in. Control minus is going to zoom out. Alternatively, you can also hold on Alt on the keyboard and scroll up and down to zoom in and zoom down. If your picture appears pixelated, don't worry, because the viewing mode is not set to overprint preview. Alright, so I won't suggest you keeping it on all the time, because you will be working with high resolution graphics and images, and it will really put the performance down. So you work without the overprint preview on, and when you are done you can just have a look, or wherever you have a some doubt about the quality of the image, you can switch to overprint preview, check it, and then set it back to normal. Okay, fine. So about text tool, you click on the T button here, T icon, and then see, if I click right now on top of it, notice the cursor will change. The cursor has a round dotted line. If I go out, it becomes rectangular. If I go in, it becomes round. If I click right now, I'll be putting text inside this box, which I don't want. I want to put text on top of it. I don't want to convert this box into a container and then fill text with it. Right now we do not want that. What we need, I need to click outside. Now if you just click and expect it to work, it's not going to happen, because there is no concept of point text in InDesign, unlike Photoshop and Illustrator, where you click and you start typing. So here you need to define a paragraph space first. You click and then drag. Perfect. Now you have defined the paragraph. If you have trouble viewing the dimensions of the paragraph, you switch to normal mode, and then you see the dimension of the paragraph. Alright, so I'll just type in portfolio here, and then maybe what portfolio? It's a design portfolio, or you can type styling portfolio. Alright, and inside you can give your name. You can write design portfolio and your name, preferably do not give it on the first page itself, right? Or you can just write your name, that's fine, it's up to you, your name. Okay, but in a smaller font, of course. So I'll select these two, and I want it to be bigger. First let's just place it in the position where we want it, and I want it here. Okay, so and let's just make a different text frame for your name. So I'll just cut it out by selecting it, and then the text tool is still active. If I click and then drag, I'll be starting with a new text frame where I'll paste the copied content from this one, and I'll select these, and I can increase the size by going to the command panel and selecting a different size for it. But I prefer doing it with keyboard shortcut, which is easier. Control Shift and period on the keyboard, or the dot full stop button on the keyboard. So you keep on pressing the full stop, hold the Control and Shift, and it will gradually increase the size of your text. Now I want to bleed it out to this white space here. Fine. Now I'm not going to complicate the process here, and I'm also going to keep it very short and sweet and simple so that you people can follow. We can do a lot of different things here, but I would just go for the simplest one. I really want the text to be big, and okay, this size seems to do just fine. And see, okay, so you can spend time, strategically placing it. And now there is this problem here. See, why is it coming? Because this box has 50% transparency applied, 70% transparency applied to it. Okay, otherwise it is pitch black. So instead of applying black and reducing the transparency, why not apply a gray color on it? And that we can do by going to this, prioritizing the fill here, and going to the colors panel, and instead of the CMYK palette, going for okay, fine, we'll work with CMYK only. I'll just reduce the K value, bring it down to get gray, and we need 70% gray. Okay, it fixed this problem here. Alright, okay, now I don't want this font. I'll go for rather simpler one, a sans serif font. My favorite is Century Gothic. Looks very stylish, and let's capitalize the first word here. Okay, styling portfolio. Okay, do not worry about these text boxes. It's not going to be visible when you print it or you finally export it as a PDF document. So strategically place it. You can increase the distance between characters a little by holding Alt and using your arrow keys. See, you can make it compact, expand it further. Okay, now I want this to be little lesser in size than portfolio, so I'm going with the shortcut here, Ctrl Shift and comma button on the keyboard. Styling portfolio. Maybe I want the styling to come on the gray part only and portfolio to bleed out of it. Okay, so take your time, decide what suits you best. It's your cover page. Now the line distance between these two letters are also not right, so I can hold Alt and then push it up with the keyboard shortcut, and this seems fair to me here in this case, and yep, I'll go with this. So styling portfolio, and then I'll write my name here. Let's resize it, let's make it compact. Now if you overdo it, you might end up having overset text. So whenever you see this red box with a plus sign in the center, this means that you have something hidden in that text box. Now sometimes what happens, that you have accidentally pressed an enter and you get this text box. So that means you have an empty line which you need to remove. So I'll select and hit delete multiple times to get rid of that, and then resize it back. Now it's just a nice habit to keep it clean and nice. So I want my name here. I'll increase the size of this. Do not overdo. When you present your portfolio, you are there, right? So no need to shout on the first page only, what is your name? Fine, so this is my styling portfolio cover page, and probably I want to change the color of the font for my name, and I want to give it less emphasis. So I'll select it, go to the colors, and put 85% gray. Yes. And for this also I can go a little down on the gray. Maybe the styling I can go for 90% or 95%, and for this one can drop it down to 97, just a little, just a hint that it's not absolute black. Okay, this one I can, you know, boost a little up, so 95 maybe, yes. Okay, and since it is smaller, I'll give it more contrast. So spend time doing it. It's your portfolio, it's very important, and it's your cover page, sets the first impression. And do not vary it a lot with the font. Did I spell it right? Okay, let's capitalize the first word. Fine, so we have the cover of our portfolio ready, and this, switch to preview mode, have a look at it. Yes, fine. Instead of this, you can also have a texture or some else image, so you plan it according to your, you know, requirement and how you want it to be. Fine, so I'll save it and move ahead with other pages. So go to the pages panel on the right hand side if you can't see where the pages are, or accidentally if somebody closed it by undocking it, you'll find it under Windows. So click on the Windows, look for the pages panel and make sure that it is selected. If it is selected, you'll find it somewhere hidden in the interface. Most probably you'll find it on the right hand side where all the panels are collapsed. So expand the panel, and it's better if you expand it further downwards because you'll be working a lot here from now on. I need more pages, so I'll click on this new button here, create new page, and will add pages to my portfolio. For now I'm going to demonstrate with stick to 8 pages only, where I'll design the index and show you how you can pull off content from other pages to dynamically generate table of content. Okay, but mostly I'll focus on composition, because even page numbering and all and indexing is not, you know, useful in your context. It's a design portfolio, it's a styling portfolio, so probably we should emphasize more on the layouting, right? Okay, so first 2 pages here, uh, we should put our design ideology. What do we think design is for us, or what do we think styling is for us? So probably a quotation, in the center. I'll just go to the type here, and I'm just filling the placeholder text. I don't know what it means, nobody knows actually, and it doesn't mean anything indeed. Okay, so there is a question mark. It's good to start with a question mark. Fine, so I'll increase the size of it. Now as you do, as you increase the size of it, do not get perplexed if you don't see the text disappearing. You just need to increase the size of the text box, and I can still resize it. I think this is now the size of the page is 10 inches by 10 inches, and if you need to write something here, do not do this, that I have a page and I need to fill the entire page. No, just let it be readable enough. And since this is the only text here in this entire page, I don't think we need to overdo in terms of the sizing of the text, because this is the only thing there and nothing else is visually contradicting its appearance. Fine, so I'll just let it be in the center, and you can decorate it further. You can place different things, or probably you can have a image as a background. Okay, so that's totally up to you. I'll just make it compact here, and maybe this, and I want to go for center alignment here. Just for adding to it, I can just probably make few lines here. Increase size, or just little. Gives more emphasis to the work. See how it change the appearance of the page, looks more elegant, refined. Fine. Okay, and then probably you can have a picture here, just one picture in black and white. So how you are going to balance the entire page? Now this picture can be placed anywhere, but this is the position where I think it would be balanced most, depending on what sort of content I'm putting inside. So let's go and find one image which can really justify this page. So I have this one, I'll use this one, it's black and white also. Now here the content which I pulled off is bigger than the frame. So I have multiple options to fit it to the frame. If I select it, right now I'm not getting those fitting options here, probably because of the resolution I'm working with is not allowing it to come in the command panel. So if this is the case, okay, I should see those fitting options here. If this is the case, do not worry, you just go to the object menu and look for this fitting, and I have all those options here available, and I also know these shortcuts. Okay, so fill frame proportionally is the one we are going to use most. Ctrl Alt Shift C. So select it, say Ctrl Alt Shift and C on the keyboard. It fills the frame proportionally. Okay, let's drag it down a little, and I think if I have this much or this much is better. I'll just keep it to this much. Fine, and or maybe just this one. This much is fine. Okay, and I do not want a stroke here, so I can go to the strokes panel and set the stroke to 0. Fine, and maybe just for emphasizing the left of this image and giving a visual boundary to the entire composition which I am trying to create in the entire spread, I'll add this. Now how I did it, because when I created this rectangle, I already have a black stroke applied by default, and if you want to toggle between the stroke and fill, if you want to apply the stroke color inside the fill, then you hit Shift plus X on the keyboard. Make sure that that is selected. Shift plus X on the keyboard. Yep, did the trick. Align it properly. Align it properly. If you are targeting elegance, perfection is the key. Fine, maybe the black is too much. I'll go with 80% gray. Yeah, that's the job. Fine, so this is my design ideology page. Now after that, I'll just save the document here, and now here I can put my resume or an introduction to myself. So there are various ways how I can put it. I can put an image of me here or my work here, and then I can put a formal image, not formal, not very formal. So I would go with a circle here in the center, and I'm going to place it. It's a frame, circular frame. The frame is not visible because we are in the preview mode. So let's switch to normal mode, and the frame is visible here. I'll just drag it in the center, align it here, and inside that I want my image. So let's say that I'll put okay, we can't use any of these. Let's use this one again, this time here, and this is the guy, the stylist. Fine. Okay, now This already has, let's go to the preview mode. We can apply a stroke, we can apply a drop shadow here, okay, or you can just leave it like this. This looks also fine, depends what kind of image inside is there inside. Now I want to put some text here. Alright, so I'll first switch to normal mode because I want to give fine a little bit of text here. In fact, let's cover it entirely with text. So I'll go to type and choose uh, fill with placeholder text. Now I want two columns here. I'll just push it up or push it down a little. Let's make it very neat. Okay, so we have overset text. Let's just delete some of it, and we want it in two columns. So what I'll do, I'll select the text frame, say ctrl B on the keyboard, which brings me text frame options. Ctrl plus B brings me text frame options if the text frame is selected, and it says number under columns, and I want two, and right now nothing happened. Okay, I want two. If I click the preview, you will see that we have two columns. Alright, fine. I'll say okay. Now for balancing out the column, you need to just change the size of the text frame and you can balance it out really well. Here I can write my name or some, how creatively you manage the content inside your portfolio. That is also very important, because if you just play by the rules, everybody is doing the same thing. So I'm not saying that really go offbeat and do things which are not understood by anyone, but do experiment, do experiment. Okay, push it down, have some space here in between, and let's switch to preview mode. Let's have a quick look how this page is looking. What do you think? It's looking nice, decent, fine. We can do this also. If you hold alt, the transformation will happen symmetrical from left and right side. Now this looks better, I think. I'll remove this last paragraph. I don't want this much of text. Now what you can do while layouting, you can just work with placeholder text, and once you are done layouting, you can fill up this text. Okay, now fine. Let's push all of the content slightly upwards, right in the middle of the page. Okay, and there goes your the best work you can probably put here. So make a rectangular frame and we'll fill up this entire page with a graphic, and let's just put this one, and I need to fill it up entire. Okay, so the shortcut was Ctrl Alt Shift plus C, fill frame proportionally. Okay, so I want to bring her in the frame. She's looking at me, which gives more emphasis to the kind of relation both the pages have with each other. Let's switch to preview mode and then have a look. I'll save the document and move ahead. Now it's time to begin with our first project, or we can put an index. Putting an index is a better idea. We should always give the viewer hint what is about to come as they progress further in viewing our portfolios. They shouldn't catch anything by surprise. Do keep things as fillers which will be surprising in the flow to break the monotony. So I'll just save it and move ahead. Now there is this index page which we need to design, and I'll switch back to normal view and you can again put a nice graphic in the back, but I would say that index should be neat and clean, because it's a page where we are passing on information to the viewer, right? And so don't clutter it up. It's a valuable information. They would know what is there in the project, in the entire portfolio. So it would be better if you could have a little preview of it, uh, of a glimpse of the work which is about to come. So there are various ways how you can design your index, and I would say that you do check out on Pinterest or Google. Just type out creative indexes and you'll see how, and then there are very simple ways how we can make it. So I'll just make a box here, a black box, and on top of that I'll type index. I'll increase the size of it, change it to a rather contemporary font, and then now see, one thing you need to pay attention. If the text box is selected and if I click on this white button here, white color here, the text is not going to change. Instead, what happened, the box turned white, right? If I click on this, the text is black but the box disappears, right? So you can also fill color inside the box. I don't want that right now, so I need to double click here, select the text, and then click here to get white as my text color, and then if I place it, the text will be white. Okay, and I want to make it bold, so I'll go for a bolder version of the bold version of the font index, and I'm going to place it here slightly off center towards right. Okay, the moment I overdo it, it shows us the warning of the overset text. Okay, there I want to place it. Let's check out the preview. It looks neat and clean. Okay, fine. Now in the index I would just give a glimpse of my work. So let's say that my first project is a styling shoot, so I'm going to acquire two columns here. Fine. Still I'm having that gutter space, and now actually my first project is going to start from here. This index is again, this entire spread I'm treating as index. So, all right, so I'll say Ctrl D on the keyboard, and then let's say that this is the mood board which I created for my project. So also a glimpse of it. That's it, not the entire mood board, a part maybe. Fine, which reveals enough and generates interest in viewers' mind to have a look at the entire thing. And then I would just define it here in this column, write a little about it. Don't give them a lot, keep them hungry. That's it. Let's go for the preview and then see. It looks neat, clean. We can of course approach it in a totally different way. It's just the way I am doing it. You can, and this black is too stark, so I'll just maybe 90%. Fine. Okay, all right. Now then again there is this connection which is missing here, so I can probably add a line for completing the connection. Now we need to apply a stroke on it, so I'll give it 1 point stroke. See, and let's say that this is project number 3, so I can also add one box here, follow the same color scheme. Let's put 90% gray here and type in the number, okay, 3.